This week on the Anime Alchemist podcast. So, a staple of this podcast is Invincible. Okay?
We've been doing that since day one.
Like, for the first, 6 episodes.
We're, recapping some of the episodes that are coming out for season 1.
You guys would come over, we'd watch it, but then it was after I got you both of y'all all caught up, that's when we had an episode where we could talk about it.
Dude, the animation is so beautiful. Like, those drinks, fuck me. These drinks make me want to drink, bro. Oh, we'll just cover the main thing. We getting married.
Well,
Yeah.
let's talk about the show first. Jobless reincarnation.
Mushoku
Tensei.
Oh, my bad. I forgot. I thought we said it.
No,
yeah, jobless reincarnation.
Sometimes we start just talking about it, and 10 minutes in, we're like, oh, they have no idea what anime we're talking about.
Just take that.
Welcome back to the Anime Alchemist podcast. My name is Emery.
I'm Gary.
I'm Martine, and it's been a minute since the three of us have recorded something together, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, retrospective, yeah, it has.
Retrospective, by the time it actually comes out, it had been maybe
At least
weeks?
over a month.
over a month now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Time is
be
funny.
Yeah.
The council reconvenes.
Yeah. That cancel.
Which means you're gonna get a bunch of horrendous anime takes from us. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see how that goes.
I mean, it's episode 129, so if they're still listening, I'm sure they know what we're about.
Probably, but if they don't, you can always tune in on
Spotify, Apple Podcast, or YouTube on Thursdays, Anime Alchemist Podcast. Make sure you guys subscribe, turn those notifications on. Make sure you guys leave a comment. Let us know whether or not we're doing shitty, whether we're doing great. If you guys have an idea for a topic for us to discuss, let us know.
And spoiler warning for anime.
Oh, if you don't know, spoiler warning does get you 10% off on your G Fuel. If you guys use the link in our description, it also gets you some additional discounts, so check that out as well. Now let's talk about some anime.
And with the first topic being one that you always love to fucking shit
I'm
on.
very passionate about. Fuck
Yeah.
Mappa.
Fuck
Yeah.
Mappa.
They be fucking up for real.
This one's it's one thing for what they do, treating their people, but Loki, they just kind of straight up canceled the anime.
Y'all had said that Mappa was working on, I think it was a movie for Yuri on Ice, I believe was what it was. Because I kind of looked into it. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you guys had said that they had either canceled it or the project got canceled. Do you have details on that, Yuri?
Yeah, so pretty much, yes, it is the Yuri on Ice movie, and there'd been so many delays on the movie itself, delay after delay after delay after delay. They just canceled it.
That's crazy. Wow.
So, in reality, do you think that they did all that work pretty much for no reason?
It kind of seems like it, yeah. And that's weird to see that in that kind of industry, because normally, even if there are a bunch of delays, you've already poured a lot of money into it. So, at the end of the day, it's going to come out eventually. So for them to just can it, that seems like a bunch of wasted money. And if they decided to pay them. Now, I don't know how that industry works, and I don't know how Mappa operates in that department when something gets canceled, but I would really hope that the animators that were working on it probably for all these months got paid something. They still worked.
Compensated in some way.
Yeah, whether or not the project releases or not, they worked. They deserve a wage.
It's also really it's really crazy, because I'm just does Mappa take into consideration the fandoms behind these series? Because for the people who have seen Yuri on Ice, it's a pretty tight-knit community. People who have seen it have generally no negative thing to ever say.
I've always heard great things about it. It just didn't interest me to go watch it, but not because I think it's bad. It just
It's a spectacle.
It seems like it. Yeah, it looks like a very pretty anime at the very least. So
Yeah, no, so the Yuri on Ice community is kind of seen more as Mappa's OG fans, because it's one of the first things that they came out with,
yeah.
right? And now they're kind of upset. All kinds of things they're talking about. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. That community helped build Mappa and supported everything that they were doing, because they were a small studio starting out.
And then they got really big really fast.
Yeah, and now it's oh, this thing y'all been waiting for? Yeah, we're not doing it anymore.
That's insane.
I'm telling y'all, we need to boycott Mappa. I hate to say it, but we fucking need to.
And it's funny that you bring that up because I actually saw something that kind of ties into this whole Mappa thing. Do y'all know the animator Vincent Chansard, the one who's worked on One Piece, like a lot of the major episodes? He's one of the main ones responsible for like the, when they do a bunch of like still images, like
Like the King versus Zoro fight.
like especially that
yeah.
one, the King versus Zoro. Anytime you see like those flashes where there's a bunch of like
Impact frames,
Thank
yes.
you. So he is one of the ones that like does a lot of those, and his art style is amazing. His animation is so freaking good, and everything I've seen him do in One Piece, and he's done a lot of JJK stuff too. He, I think, recently came out either in an interview or something, but he had commented that about Mappa in general. He said that he would never again work with them, just from his personal like experience with the company. And I feel like that says a lot from a talented animator from like him to come out and just openly say like, yeah, I don't want to work with that company anymore. That's a big deal because he's not, he's not Japanese. He's from the West. I believe he's American. I could be wrong. Sorry. But yeah, that's a kind of a big deal because I feel like those animators that have a household name that people can genuinely just like remember off the top of their head, if they're, spitting facts like these and laying out what Mappa is doing, I hope that it would bring more attention to what they're doing and how wrong it is that they don't treat their employees correctly. So hopefully this kind of could start something. But it's nice to see an actual like animator speak out and say something about it.
Like a reputable source be like, yeah, no, they're not good people.
Yeah. I'm sure there's only like so much he can say in terms, because like once you're in that industry, you can get in trouble if you start saying too much stuff, because then you start going into like defamation suit, like lawsuits and things like that. So he was very like ambiguous about it, but he just said that he wouldn't work with them again.
That's fair.
Which it has already a lot of implications that you can guess for
that
yourself.
speaks enough volume just saying that.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
That's a good way to put it. Like I would not want to work for this company again. Like going forward. Period.
Yeah, like the stuff that Mappa produces is always great, but it's not because of Mappa, it's because of the animators that they keep contracting and they don't, that they just don't take care of.
Like the one like I guess positive I can say about Mappa as like a company, they got an eye for talent.
They do have an eye for talent, yeah. And a lot of those animators have like stepped away, and most of them want to start their own studios too.
Yeah, a lot of them do.
There's a lot of that happening in the industry right now.
Yeah,
like animators going and making their own studio, and then like coming to main studios like Mappa is like, oh, me as a company will contract with you, but like I'm not gonna fuck with you as your employee.
Yeah, and I think it'd be cool to see either them start their own studios and kind of run it the way that it should be based off their experiences, or for them to go to like studios that actually are that have a better reputation, like A1 Studios, for example. I've never really heard anything bad about them in terms
Production
of like,
IG is pretty good.
Production IG, all of them. I think even Wit Studios.
I heard
right?
Studio Cloverworks.
So like, instead of Mappa kind of like hoarding all of the really, really talented animators, maybe this could be a good way for like the other studios to start leveling up their overall quality by taking in a lot of the animators that have worked with Mappa and start, kind of like, I think they could teach each other stuff too. Like I think they could kind of build and work to create something really unique, because animation in general from all studios has been seeing like an improvement.
Oh yeah.
Even with you said Cloverworks, is that who does like Boruto and Black Clover? Or is it
no,
the ones that did Naruto, Boruto, Black Clover. Studio Period. So like them, for example, if you look at all the stuff that they've animated before compared to what they do now for like 1000-Year Blood War, big jump in quality. It's the same studio.
That's true.
That's a really good point.
I wonder if they just spent more time on it, or it was like a crossing of like a bunch of technique and talent.
I get the feeling it's a little bit of both. Like, I think all that time that they took off working on other projects, I think maybe they're building up their, like, they had to have been planning for Bleach to come back way before it was ever announced. Because like it's a really big name to land as a studio, right? And if they wanted it to continue and be successful, they knew that they probably had to go all out with the animation, and they're gonna go and try to get some of the best in the business, especially with the 10 years that it's been since Bleach stopped airing. Like, we've gotten a lot of new animators on the scene that work on really big projects, and I'm sure they had their scouts kind of go and talk to them directly, even freelance some extra work to So,
Bro, Studio C2C,
mm-hmm.
the one that did Shangri-La Frontier. I never heard of them. I'd never heard of them until Shangri-La Frontier.
Yeah, I've never heard of them either.
Bro, but that animation is insane.
Oh,
So
super
even
good.
if this is like a new studio, you know, they're putting out this crazy quality. I feel like that's just kind of the standard.
Sleeper
at
Studios.
this point.
Yeah, and that's cool that like it's a brand. Well, maybe it's not brand new, but this is the first that we've heard of it, and they're already putting out something of that quality and a big name. Like Shangri-La Frontier was a big anime this past season that a lot of people were watching. And
It
had
did good.
great reputation.
And they're already gonna put out another like core in October. That's
Yeah.
Can't wait. It's
So-
gonna be so good.
you know, that's a big game they're playing. You know, they're also they're like also competing with solo leveling.
That's.
Take some balls to do it.
I'm sorry. I had to. I just have to say this because when I heard that episode and like you were talking about Shangri-La like outperforming solo leveling, I love you guys, but I hard disagree with that. But I just had to put my 2 cents in. But I'm not gonna go into it.
I mean, we're not talking about personal opinion. We're talking about like what people were talking about.
I don't know. Like I only ever saw solo leveling stuff in terms of being talked about in the community.
I'm not gonna lie. I saw a lot of Shangri-La.
I guess it just depends on your feeds too, and that's why it's hard to trust like social media in general because it's so cultivated to like what your personal preferences. And if you're interacting with specific things, you're obviously gonna get a lot more of that. But if you're not aware of the other stuff, it could be way bigger. But if you're not showing interest in it, then in your perspective, it's just like, oh, like I guess this wasn't as important. That probably happened on both sides of the fandom, from solo leveling to Shangri-La.
Yeah,
Like I highly doubt that like
I'm seeing that because from
everybody
that
that watched one watched the other. There's probably a little bit of a divide.
because I saw a lot. Like when we posted that TikTok, I saw a lot of people saying like, I don't even know what the fuck Shangri-La Frontier
I
is, and I'm
figured,
just like,
yeah, I didn't even want to go through those comments. I was like, there's not gonna be a positive comment
oh,
anywhere in there.
I'm gonna be honest. I knew what I was doing when I made it.
Okay.
Yeah. If you guys comment on that, that's gotcha. I'm sorry.
So, anyways, there's this anime coming out called Windbreaker.
Mhm.
It's got 3 episodes out right now. So there's not that. It won't take long to catch up.
I love how you always turn to look at me for it.
It's really good. It's really good. It's a delinquent anime. It's like low key, like a city just filled with gangs and like violence and shit.
But are
Okay.
they middle
And
schoolers?
they're high schoolers.
Okay, step
Okay.
up. I'll take
Yeah,
it.
yeah, they're high schoolers.
It's not like Tokyo Revengers. Cool. Duly noted.
Yeah.
That's
No, and he moves from out of town to this place. He's like, nah, I'm gonna be the top dog here.
Okay.
Like that's why I moved here. I'm gonna be on top.
Okay.
And then he meets this kind of like clumsy dude, and he's like, I'll help you. So, you know, they become friends,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get to see him scrap. Like when they throw hands, bro, they throw hands. This man's fast. Like the way they animate him fighting is like damn near Naruto characters.
Oh, okay. Well, is like the story of this kind of just overall him just wanting to be at the top of like his respective gang or something, or is it something like more?
Well,
And,
it's like a twist on it, right? Like normal, like he as a character, the main character is like he's got white hair, split colored. He has 2
Typical
different color
delinquent
eyes,
look. Yeah.
right? And people like judge him
Mhm.
because you know, like rage against society kind of thing. It's one of those things like, oh, I'm rebelling against the norm,
Mhm.
but like he can't help it. He was actually born that way,
Okay.
right? So people just cast judgment, view him as a delinquent.
Yeah, because
waste
it's like
of
the typical
space.
look of a delinquent, at least like
Yeah.
stereotypically.
And he gets cast judgment in that same light. It's like you're just a waste to society. That's how everybody views him.
Oh.
But then he moves to this place, kind of like gets involved with some stuff and like helps save a girl from an asshole.
Mhm.
And then from there you start to see like, oh, this place is different because the delinquents there, they're delinquents, yes. They're not like the normal people in society that you would see,
Mhm.
but they're doing good things in that neighborhood. You know, they're protecting their people
They're
essentially.
anti-heroes.
Pretty much. Like they straight up reference like, oh, it's like they're heroes of justice.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? It's
Okay.
good. It's really good. It
Maybe
starts-
almost like vigilante-esque, kind of.
I guess.
I guess like their role, they probably don't. They don't sound like their main goal is to be heroes or anything, but they just do slightly heroic things while also kind of just being delinquents. Like that's their character trait. I was just about to say that kind of just sounds like, you know, Luffy basically kind of like saving a kingdom because it's convenient for him, but also I'm a pirate, I'm not a hero. Like, you know, I'm gonna take your shit.
Because it's convenient.
And it usually is.
And the main character, like his demeanor, he is a character reminds me a lot of like when Rin is pissed off.
Ren
From Blue Exorcist?
Okay.
Is just pissed off and like being kind of rash. That's kind of like his character.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's fun to see like people who view him differently, and he's like expecting to be viewed a certain way,
Right.
right? But it's like a flip on that. It's really enjoyable, and then the fight scenes, the animation for the fight scenes are crazy. I'm sure you've probably seen it.
Probably.
You've probably seen it on social media. You may have, but in the first episode, like 12 minutes in, you get a crazy fight. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And it goes for like maybe 8 minutes.
Okay, and how is it fight scene compared to like, I guess Tokyo Revengers is the closest anime that I can think of to kind of have like a base.
You know how it felt like a bunch of crowds? Like it would always do like a still shot of the crowd above of everybody fighting, and then it'd show like, oh, impact, boom, impact, but they're all still frames. It wasn't like that. Like everything was animated. There's characters running at other characters. Like,
it wasn't like a slideshow
shifting
type
camera perspective. Yeah, no, it was not a slideshow.
Cool. Okay.
Like the animation for this show is a reason alone to go watch it. So just watch it.
Sometimes like that's all you need to like. I mean, look at Demon Slayer. The animation alone is what, in my opinion, carries it. So, and that's not a bad thing. Like, again, it's not my cup of tea. If you like it, go for it. But in my opinion, the animation is what makes it as popular as it was. If it had more basic animation, probably wouldn't have performed as well.
Like the animation alone is kind of what set the standard for this new kind of age of animation.
Yeah,
if you ask
sure.
me.
Yeah, no, a lot of animes followed suit, and I mean, I thank Demon Slayer for it, because if not, we probably wouldn't have as high quality shit as we have now.
I even remember what scene Gary showed me, and he was like, "Check this out. This is like
For Demon Slayer?
Yes.
Is it Zenitsu Thunderclap?
Yes.
Yeah, that was mine too.
When he was asleep.
When he was sleeping, just bing. it
That's
was like,
so funny, because it wasn't even Gary who showed me that scene. It was do you remember Umberto? Yeah, he's the one who actually showed me that. He's like, bro, look at this. Like, I know it's out of context, but it's cool as fuck. And I'm
He
like,
did the same shit.
okay. And I looked at it and I'm like, what the
Damn, that's
fuck?
cool.
Damn, that looks like a movie.
Is he asleep?
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah,
no,
he's
dude,
asleep.
it's like this new anime. It's called Demon Slayer, and I got on Demon Slayer way later than most. Like, it was super mainstream, and I was like, yeah, I watched the first episode, and I was like, I mean, it's fine. Like, it's, you know, relatively basic, I guess. And then I ended up finishing season 1, and by the time I finished it, like, that's all that was out at the time. And like, people would ask me, like, what did you think of Demon Slayer? And I'm like, it's good, but that's about it. Like, I personally didn't get the hype around it.
It's because he didn't get to see Big Titty Nezuko. That's what it was.
It's good to be back, I guess.
We didn't get that till later. And let me tell you, when we got that, the fandom went crazy. Its popularity skyrocketed. And then the next season, you know, then we got Mitsuri, and it just got even more popular.
What are we getting next season? Nothing. It peaked. We peaked in Demon Slayer.
Good training arc.
Is it a good training arc?
Yeah. Oh, please. It's the arc that lays the foundation for everything that's gonna happen later on.
Okay, but do we get to see the training? Because nowadays, new gen anime kind of tell you, like, we're gonna do a training arc. Boom, we did the training arc. Like, that's just, it's done. You don't get to see the progress, and I miss that in like anime nowadays. Me and Pablo both are always complaining that we don't get to see enough training arcs. Those are fun. I love Naruto's training arcs. I love Dragon Ball's like training arcs. They're cool as fuck. Even One Piece still does it a little bit. Like Luffy in the prison.
My Hero
that was
did
a
it?
training arc. My Hero does it. Black Clover kind of does it. Kind of.
Okay, so a couple weeks back, we told you guys to go check out Bartender Glass of God, and the synopsis we gave you was dog shit. And so Gary's here to set the record straight.
Yeah, we were a little off. Basically, it's a French trained bartender from overseas. And there is a hotel that is looking for a bartender for their hotel bar, but it's like a like on a high like floor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's meant for like rich people, people who are like affluent, travel from country to country. So like
People like us.
when the first like you got to think for a lot of people traveling around the world, like the first person you're gonna interact with is like really interact with is the bartender.
Yeah, that's true.
That's-
Especially if it's at the hotel.
Yeah.
So it's like
That's
being
what I did when I
able
went to Vegas. I just chilled at the bar for a while.
See, and was that like one of the first things you did?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. So it's one of those things. It's a very kind of important position that you wouldn't think is as important as it is, but these people at the hotel take it really serious.
Yeah.
And so they go out. They're like trying to find the bartender that can make the glass of God, right? And it's pretty much this bartender, this French trained bartender, that kind of captivates their attention. They really want him to work for them, but he's like, nah, I'm afraid of heights.
I'm afraid of heights. That's the reasoning.
Yeah, and so far it's like he's making these great drinks and being challenged and like meeting all these incredible people in the bartending world, but it's all because they're trying to get him to work for them. And he's just like, I'm just doing my thing. Like,
yeah.
I'm
Very casual.
I'm scared of heights.
I mean, that's like relatable. I can fuck with that.
Fair. Yeah. No.
At a
It's
certain point-
set
at a
your
certain
boundaries,
point
bro.
for height,
You gotta set yourself boundaries. No, it's not a good work environment.
Listen, like it's like
respect
you
it.
know what kind of talent you have. You know what you can deliver.
Yeah.
You know, if you guys can at least bring me down at least 10 stories.
Yeah. No, if you have a skill set
Please.
that's that sought after, then you make the rules. And I'm like, nah, no more than like 5 floors up.
I'd still be scared.
No windows. Give me a floor with no windows.
No windows whatsoever.
Mhm. You put me in the middle of the room.
I want an emergency helicopter on standby. Well, no, that's still heights, I guess.
I want a parachute ready at all
Parachute
times.
ready at all times.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway.
Well, I mean, essentially he's like a bartender, but he's also like low key detective. Like someone walks in and he's like, oh, they're wearing their watch backwards. So they can see it from their wrist.
Yeah,
They must be really busy. They're trying to keep on the schedule. That means this person's stressed. They're working a lot. And they just got in here and asked what time we close. They're in our industry. Customers aren't going to care about that. Let me make the perfect drink for this person that might
very
be a bartender.
perceptive.
Yeah, very
Very.
perceptive. And it's fun to watch him like break this person down and kind of assume things. And like sometimes it doesn't go well.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it does. It's a lot of fun. It's interesting. It's like these little interactions with random customers
That kind of make the
that like kind of make it enjoyable and interesting.
Okay, let's say. Well, I
Not
mean,
just
like
the
bartenders that just hear every story ever.
Yeah.
Like they're everyone's best friend, you know?
It's such a thing, like a
Yeah.
kind of cliche, honestly.
Like look at Husk from Has Been.
Seriously.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
But
it's
it-
bartender,
but
bro. Why lie? Just,
He's also got like the philosophy of a bar, like the phrase bartender means like a gentle perch, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what the drinks sit on. But the bartender, the person behind it, they're really the person there to like add that tenderness or like what's the word? I guess provide that care for the person, for that customer.
yeah, no, I mean, outside of just making drinks, a bartender in general has like also the responsibility of just kind of being comfortable with like the people coming up asking for drinks, because if you're not comfortable with your bartender and you can't like kind of click, if you're going there relatively often, then you're kind of losing a customer. So you want to be like a sociable person and just kind of be casual and easy to talk to. That's, I feel like, another really big skill set of being a bartender. That's kind of interesting that an anime would dive into something like that. I feel like you wouldn't expect it.
I wasn't. It's a lot of fun. You still haven't watched it.
I haven't. I want to so
Dude,
bad.
the animation is so beautiful. Like those drinks, fuck me. These drinks make me want to drink, bro.
That's saying a lot, then.
Okay, well,
They make a Manhattan and I'm like, whoo, I gotta try me one of those.
because it look good in an anime.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's kind of cool. Okay. Well, I'll pick
I'll
that
start
up
that
and,
later.
and see. Maybe me and Pablo can kind of watch that. And he'll probably like it because you guys were pitching it to him too last time you saw him.
So a staple of this podcast is Invincible. Okay.
We've been doing that since day one.
Like for the first like 6 episodes,
We're like recapping some of the episodes that
Yeah,
were coming
well-
out for
well,
season 1.
You guys would come over, we'd watch it, but then it was after I got you all, both of y'all all caught up. That's when we had an episode where we could talk about it.
Yeah. Good
And
times.
season 2's like we've all officially seen all of season 2 and like how that like second core kind of ended. Holy shit!
Dude, I feel like it was not talked about enough.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see anybody really mentioning Invincible on my feeds and everywhere, but Jesus Christ.
Okay, I'll tell you what parts.
She lived through a double.
Yeah, the Kate stuff.
Sorry, I
duplicate
just
stuff.
straight into the spoiler.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, yeah, straight into the spoilers. Duplicate was a double the whole time.
That is, it made like a bigger spoiler, but funny that like this is the most random shit too. I am glad that she's alive.
Yeah,
though.
same. I kind of really liked her.
Good for Immortal.
Yeah, good
for
for
Immortal.
Immortal because
He needed
Immortal
that.
was going downhill quickly.
Very much so.
Can she like? It's just a duplicate.
She just makes more of herself. Like that's just the original though. You remember how that dude in Freerin?
Yeah, yeah. Oh no. I know.
Yeah, that guy
thing.
was like all the way at fucking. That was cool when he walked into like I forgot the name of the elf chick, like the main mage,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "Why would I, do blah blah blah? Like you're not even actually here. You're all the way, at home." And he's
Drinking
like,
tea.
Yeah, and he's like, "Wow, not even like Ubel could."
Notice that.
Notice that.
Mhm.
Sorry, back to.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
It's just a good comparison. No, that shit was cool though. I'm glad that she's still alive. That,
So,
that was a brutal death that she went through.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, honestly, I felt like that was like unceremonious. Like I feel like for like duplicate to actually be like, okay, I'm hanging it up with this one.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of a shitty mission to be like, yeah, I died on that mission.
It was like Loki, kind of the shittiest team that kind of.
Yeah,
What's
that
her
whole
name?
mission just went
Kaiju?
to shit. Like everything. I felt bad for her. I felt bad for the one that can shrink down.
Yeah, she got 8, and then she tried to expand outwards.
Oh,
when
that
I-
was so
Got all of her bones broken in the process.
I feel like season 2 was more brutal than season 1. Like just from maybe it's a recency bias.
maybe brutal to individual people,
Yeah,
but I think mass casualty wise, not as much.
but I feel like brutality wise, when you see individual like named characters that have a role in the story
Mhm.
get brutalized, it hits worse than when you see
Fucking
thousands of
Rex-
unnamed civilians.
Explosion had a fucking bullet go through his head.
That was wild.
I love Rex now.
I love
Same.
Rex.
Same.
Yeah.
Rex
Yeah.
post shot in the head is a great Rex.
Yeah.
All he needed was a little.
Yeah.
How did he
I
live
believe
through
you
that?
shot me in the goddamn head.
Like I know that in real life people have survived
Mhm.
like getting shot through the head, but
Built
that was
different.
like point blank. He's like right freaking
Uh-huh.
there. It was insane.
Well, as you kind of see it like shoot all the way through, but I just think like I think it just bounced around off his skull.
Again,
Dude,
like
fucking prick.
it's crazy that you lived through something like that. Well, he's a superhero, so I guess maybe
Yeah,
that's what
there's a
happened.
little bit of that built different factor in there, you know.
Yeah.
I liked him like rehabilitating
Same.
himself. That was awesome. He was like, nah, I'm taking on this guy, even though, like the Cthulhu monster.
Yeah.
Like, even though this guy is huge, like you go deal with that. I'll deal with
You know
this
what I would
guy,
love
you know?
as extra content?
Mm-hmm.
I would love monthly home decor recommendations from Rexplosion.
Oh my god, yes, because he loves the magazines.
Magazines.
That'd
it's
be
like, what
funny
do
as like just a social media thing to keep promoting the show while
Uh-huh.
they're on break. That'd be fun.
That's hilarious.
I love what they did with him, and I like that he's getting more development because he was a piece of shit in the first season, and now I genuinely care about him. And I was sad when he got shot because I genuinely believe that oh no, he's done. Like you're not coming
Mhm.
back from this. They've killed off other characters just as important, so why would they not?
Nah, yeah. And I was
Yeah,
like,
I was convinced he was dead, but then he got up. I was like, no way, let's
Yeah.
go.
when he got shot, I was like immediately. I was like, well, nothing really holding back the the Eve and Mark relationship.
I shipped them
like,
so hard.
Me too, bro.
I think
They milked
everybody.
the fuck out of them breaking up.
My my new guy at work,
Uh-huh.
he was watching it. He had like no context as to what was happening, so he was like, "Hey man, like when is Mark gonna break up with that one girl?" And I was like, "Give it like an episode, man.
Was he on
like-
season 2 or?
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Or I think he told me what episode he had seen
Mhm.
and how many he was behind. And I was like, just watch like 2 episodes.
Just
bro.
keep watching.
Just
yeah.
keep watching.
I will say I was not a fan of Amber in season 1. I didn't really like the way she was written. I thought, I don't know, she could have
Agreed.
been a better character. In season 2, I liked her so much more.
So relatable.
She's a lot better.
So much more relatable. She was a compassionate, like actually an understanding person. Like she felt more human because obviously you're gonna really struggle dating a superhero like that.
Mhm.
Like how could you tell him like, no, I want you to stay with me and just hang out with me and study with me when you have the world to save. But also at the same time, well, I mean, she's not wrong for wanting to spend time with like her boyfriend, right?
Yeah, no.
It's totally understandable, and like I could really believe that they were both struggling and trying to make it work as much as they could, but they just both realized like it can't happen.
Mhm.
Like
Gotta be with somebody who understands the life. Unfortunately, you know what hit the hardest
Mhm.
during all of that is when he talked to his mom,
oh man, I feel
When he
so
asked
bad
her,
for that woman.
right? And she's like, "It's always better to know the truth."
Hmm.
Like even if y'all are struggling, if you like y'all don't end up together, it's better she knows the truth.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And like
That's-
everyone was trying to help them too. I like that they both go off and have conversations with like even Eve was giving Amber a lot of really solid
Mhm.
advice, just being a good friend.
So was fucking Rex.
And
Art.
so was Rex. Like everyone genuinely was trying to help, and it's not like anyone told them like you need to break up or you need to stay together. Like no, they're just kind of like being real with them. Like look, it's a difficult situation, but you need to figure out what is important to you and how much you're willing to sacrifice.
Mhm.
And Amber, at the end of the day, like she realized like, look, I am feeling so selfish and wanting you to stick by me, but I shouldn't feel bad about wanting those things because that's just part of being human, And she
Mhm.
expressed that, and I think she did it in a really good way that like made me not like dislike her. It just made me sympathize with her a lot more because that's a tough situation to be in.
And yeah, and like, I mean, there is a fine line, with like not getting that face to face, that like that personal quality time with your significant other.
Mm-hmm.
But when that aspect of their life grabs you by the fucking throat,
That I was just about to say.
fucking goodness.
Oh,
And threatens your life, I could snap her neck,
Yeah.
or I could sever her head from her body
Before you can get
before
to
you
me.
could even get halfway to me.
was
That was insane.
crazy.
And this was a monster.
Yeah, I didn't know they were gonna introduce her this season because she's the only spoiler I know,
Oh man,
and she's a bigger deal
I'm
apparently.
excited for next season for you, Emily.
Me?
Yeah.
Why? I'm excited for one thing, and I'm not gonna say
It's
it.
gonna be a whole new muscle mommy for
Oh,
you.
I already know. Yeah. Trust me. I know.
You know about the
I-
reverse?
Yeah.
There's a lot coming. Talk. There's a.
Yeah.
I wonder how much like
I'm gonna
that
t-
they can actually animate in the season 3.
I'm gonna tell you right now, okay?
Mhm.
In season 3, we're gonna get 2 kinds of poundings.
Oh yeah.
I forget that. So he told me that you read it too. Like you read most of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I can't wait for Adam Eve to get thick.
So it's kind of cool because like y'all two know way more than I do. Why? I'm just trying to move on, but
I'm sorry.
y'all two have read most of it, and I only know like 1 or 2 spoilers. One of them being the Anessa thing.
What's the other one you know?
It's Adam Eve related,
Uh-huh.
and her and Mark.
Oh.
Yeah, and like
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry for those people who have no fucking clue what we're talking
Okay,
about.
I'm surprised that's the spoiler he got. There's do you
There's
guys
lots of
there's
story.
because there's a character that's coming that Anissa fucking warned Mark of.
Okay.
Okay, he is death incarnate. Okay, like this, like hands down, probably second scariest fucking Viltrumite.
This is Darth Vader, bro.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah.
How does Mark survive these situations? He just gets
He's
ass
invincible.
beat every other episode.
I could give you the answer if you want to know.
He gets stronger.
Exactly.
Senkai boost. He gets stronger.
Alan
every
got
time
a
he gets
Senkai
higher.
boost.
He did. He really did.
I'm so glad he's still alive. I was so
know.
sad in the first part when
Like,
he died.
way
You
bigger.
can't get rid of Seth Rogen. What the fuck?
Oh my god, that made me so happy. Because when I saw him get destroyed by the Viltrumites in that first core, I had no idea that was like even part of the story. I was like, wait, Alan? But like, I really like Alan. I thought he was gonna be like important to the story. And thank God they brought him back.
And then you get to see he can keep his own with a fucking Viltrumite.
Oh,
He
yeah.
beat the brakes out of fucking.
Well,
this
we were
thing.
talking like he basically is a Saiyan, essentially.
Yes.
Like he was beaten within an inch of his life, came back stronger than before. Like
About as strong as the thing that killed him.
he's got that Saiyan DNA in him.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking crazy.
Also, the guy from his fucking that leads their like organization. They're like
He's
The
a
teleporting guy.
no. The guy
Oh,
who
the
killed the old guy that like we thought was gonna kill fucking Alan from like his healing. Turns out he's a Viltrumite.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's
So
fucking crazy.
I like how that builds onto the story because now we kind of see like this slowly forming like a group of people who can contest with the Viltrumites, and it's
then the
creating,
Empire.
And then you got the books.
yeah, and then
The books told you all kinds of shit that can kill Viltrumites. Apparently, like the pistol that like destroys everything in its path. Those creatures that like live on like an Earth that has like, or like on a planet with like
with
10
higher
times
gravity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
extremely hard to kill.
Like you're seeing all this like build up to like something that can lead to a.
Universal war, basically.
Plus, you got another child of Omni-Man now.
Yeah, I didn't. Oh man, when I first saw the kid thing, that blew my mind.
Bro, Oliver. I love
For
Oliver.
so long, I have always wanted to like bring this up when people ask like, "Oh, what did Omni-Man do after he beat the shit out of Mark?" Exactly what he said he would do.
Make another kid.
Start over again. What's 17 more years?
17 more years. And the best part is, it's accelerated growth
Oh
rate.
yeah, it's not even gonna
Well,
take
that's even
17
faster.
years.
Fucking genius, Omni-Man.
Probably take a few months at best.
Yeah.
Hoping the Viltrumite will kick in. That's crazy. She has to like chew his food for him
Because he ain't got no enzymes.
Yeah.
to be able to break it down. That's so insane.
Man needs a NutriBullet.
So I got a quick question.
Mhm.
Out of all the, I guess, different marks you guys have now seen, do you got a favorite?
They were all fucking evil villains. The only good one is ours, apparently.
Apparently, yeah.
Oh, that's because he was raised properly. He was raised properly.
Sinister Mark is my favorite.
Sinister Mark. Is that the one, like the main one that we saw at the beginning of the season?
No.
Which one was Sinister?
Sinister one.
Oh, you're making me feel bad.
Was that not the same one as the
Extra-
first one?
No.
Damn. Okay, I thought they were the same.
That's
What was that? The doctor's name? What did you say?
Angstrom. Yep, that would be my fucking asshole of a cat. There's a spray bottle somewhere.
Ain't
around
no
here.
editing that out.
Sorry, y'all.
That's funny.
Yeah, I know it is. The what? What? No, we are not done talking about Invincible. I'm sorry. Mark beat the ever-living brakes out of fucking Angstrom.
Angstrom. That's the name that I was trying to remember.
Angstrom
Yeah.
Levy. the
Yes.
fucking,
That shit was amazing.
Brain guy.
Yeah.
The brain
Oh,
teleport
okay.
guy.
No, that was actually so crazy. The fact that the Guardians of the Galaxy from another timeline took the time to find him
Mm-hmm.
and go retrieve him,
Mhm.
but also send him back to his own timeline.
Nuts.
Just so they wouldn't create like a.
What he
Scary.
became.
What he ended up becoming. Yeah.
I mean, you gotta think he did literally get trapped in another universe. Like
Yeah, no,
Angstrom
like-
won
Yeah.
in the end.
Dude, as he was beating his ass, I'm just thinking, Mark, how are you gonna get back?
How are you
Yeah.
gonna get
Like,
back,
you don't even
bro?
know where you are, bro. That is like centuries worth of like technological advancements away from what you are capable of, my guy.
My best bet was like, okay, maybe you can fly off world and maybe come across the civilization.
That can maybe teleport you to a different universe.
I
And
mean, space is pretty big, and Viltrumites can fly without like stopping for air for like, well, half Viltrumite for like 10 days.
yeah, it's not so much that he wouldn't find anyone. It's just finding someone with the technology, you know.
We also saw how fast he is too now.
Oh, bro, that's probably what they were like. Why they were like, you wouldn't want to see what you became, because he probably like wiped planets out trying to find this shit.
So do you think that he has the potential to be even stronger than Omni-Man?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely. I truly believe that it operates the same way as like half Saiyan, half human.
Oh, okay.
That
Yeah,
little bit of
totally.
human, like, get better.
It's the emotional
always get
side of
better.
it. That's always what it is, even with Saiyans and Dragon Ball. It's like the emotional response and you getting that angry. It like fuels your power. So like
That makes,
you
I
see
mean,
with
yeah,
Gohan.
that makes a lot of fucking sense. They're too cold or and like unemotional.
Yeah, they're completely disconnected. But like when you're fighting to
Calculated.
protect something, dude, like Mark went off. That was the most intense I've ever seen him beat someone's ass. Like he killed him. That was the first person he finally killed. And it's a big
His
moment.
mom's hand up, bro.
That was so hard to watch.
When I saw that, I was like,
God.
oh my God.
That poor woman has been through enough.
Yeah.
Leave her alone.
That woman is an angel.
Jesus Christ, Debbie, what happened? I know, Cecil, me too. Fuck.
What the fuck happened? What do you think happened?
Is
Yeah,
Oliver
John, what do you
okay?
Did you know she's voiced by Sandra Oh? She's the doctor from Grey's Anatomy.
Yep.
Yeah, I
That's
dig
cool.
it. I dig it.
Um,
They made her
Dude.
eyes the same in the show.
they did. Did you know that Cecil's that the ghoul in Fallout? Oh, are you guys not aware of the Fallout series that just came out?
I haven't been watching it.
It's on Amazon. I recommend it.
I have not watched it. I've heard things about it.
Rob's been watching.
All over my shit. That's why I thought maybe you guys.
No, I knew about it. I just
It
hadn't.
gives me
taken the time.
Westworld vibes, but Fallout.
Yeah.
I liked Westworld until season 3.
See, that's what I'm worried about. It's like I don't want to enjoy it and then it fall off and be like, oh, I wish it could be better.
Yeah.
I'll just wait, like I did with Game of Thrones.
Until the whole thing was done. Fair.
Quick question.
Great ending.
Do you guys have any sympathy for Omni-Man?
Yeah.
No.
For what it?
Always on the same page, huh, buddy?
What? I get why he's saying no.
Yeah,
I don't get why you're saying yes. Fuck him. No, I mean, he killed fucking millions of people.
Yeah, but he said he was sorry.
Bro,
Yeah.
Red Rush. Red Rush. Look at his wife. Debbie had to help her get through that shit and cope with it.
Yeah.
And he did that just because
They were powerful.
they were strong. They were kind of a threat. He wasn't even fully committed to doing what he was supposed to do, and he still killed them.
Yeah.
Immortal is permanently fucked up because he was dead for a little bit.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that like he was willing to realize what he did was wrong, though, shows that he's already a better Viltrumite than most of his entire race.
Which
I
is
mean,
fucking crazy, and you
yes.
have no idea why.
No, but just like that single thing, like that is what I mean. We were just talking about how a little bit of that emotion can
Humanity.
make you, the humanity can make you strong. You don't have to have like the superpowers, like that puts you apart. And the fact that he is learning some of that humanity while being a full-fledged Viltrumite, I feel like that's a big deal. And like he can help change the tide and maybe like change things for the better. Obviously, what he did was completely fucked up, but he is like, if he were just to be killed off right now, that'd be a waste. It'd be a waste to kill him off as a character. There's so much more to explore. You know that at some point he's probably going to have another reunion with Mark's mom, and they're going to have some kind of
yeah,
conversation.
let me ask you this. Do you think she would forgive him?
No, but I think she would move on.
Yeah.
I think she would be like, you completely destroyed my life, and I'll probably never forgive you for this, but that's in like the past. And I think by the time they end up having a conversation, I think she would have grown enough to be like, but like I'm hoping that Omni-Man would have done a lot of good, and Mark probably would have like explained the situation, and her like maybe not forgive him, but still be like, but thank you for helping Mark, or thank you for saving his life, because he did save his life.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
even
yeah.
just in this season, we saw him save Mark's life.
Yeah.
So that's already a step up.
I mean,
from what
but
he was doing.
he's an asset.
Yeah, no, he is. He's a plot device. Unfortunately.
Bro, they literally said, okay, so we'll link him up with the main dude for the like big rebellion, and I'm not gonna deal with any of that stuff, but call me when it's time for the real fight, right? So it's like, okay, everything can happen, and then we can get called on, literally call to action.
It's a literal call to adventure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, not perfect, but
War, but you know.
extra steps.
It's the same thing. That's Rick and Morty. Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, bro, I'm trying to I'm towing a line here because there's some stuff that I don't know if y'all know, and I don't want to mention it, but it comes into play during this war. Woo!
Well,
I'm
see,
so
again,
excited
like
for
I'm
y'all to
speaking
see.
from a point of
The
view of
war is
someone that
crazy.
doesn't know everything. I could be completely wrong about everything, so
You're in for a treat. We'll tell you that.
I'm sure season 2 was a treat. So.
Season 3, I hear, is gonna get a lot of money.
Okay, good. Yeah. Well, I love the animation for this, and I love that episode where he was talking to the
Bro,
animator.
that was so good.
It was so meta. He was like, sometimes, we cut corners so we can save on budget to animate the really flashy scenes, but there's tricks that we do. Sometimes you'll get shots from behind. Sometimes you'll get overhead shots of.
We don't have to animate the lip flaps,
Uh-huh.
and it's shows Mark covering his mouth,
It's like
talking.
Really
It's
good
like,
point.
oh, that makes sense. It was so good. Or we cut to behind their head,
Yeah,
and then
and-
they do it.
And I started noticing that now in other shows too. Sometimes I'm like, fuck, every show kind of does that to save on it.
And
Good.
dude, it itself was foreshadowing. Fuck. Because then you're just like, wait, if they're cutting money, what are they
they
gonna
saving
do in
it
the
for?
episode? Nissa kicking the piss out of Mark.
Yeah, I do love that they don't shy away from it. It's brutal, but it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be.
I think it's part of the charm of the show too,
Yeah.
if you can call it charm, I guess.
I like that they have kaijus.
Kaiju.
Kaiju. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Okay. Now go, Gary.
All right, yeah,
Give it to him.
yeah. Please lead the way. Lead.
What the hell happened? Ninja Cowboy fella fumbled the bag.
Fumbled so bad.
They fumbled so hard. They had all the hype. The animation was there.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, we're robot ninja samurai in CGI form. What the fuck?
I was so disappointed.
Bro, it was like a terrible PS2 game.
Yeah, even just outside of the animation, the story was just boring, in my opinion.
It had it had a foundation,
Uh-huh.
and it was like they didn't know where to take it.
Yeah, dude,
They were making shit up on each episode.
dog, in my opinion, it kind of pulled what Demon Slayer did.
Pulled a Yasue.
He brought everybody in with a flashy, cool animation and dope fight scenes just to be a basic revenge plot.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's just a basic revenge
pretty
plot,
much,
and it's
yeah.
and he's boring. I really just don't care for the character at all. I think he's really fucking boring, and I don't like most of the characters in this show. I think they're all just very one-dimensional. There's maybe a couple that are slightly interesting, but as a whole, the cast of characters I think is really weak, and that's one of the reasons that I started falling out of it, because I was watching because Pablo and I would be like, oh, there's a new episode, do you want to watch it? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And that was 3, and then a couple of weeks would go by, I'd be like, oh, we're 2 weeks behind on Ninja Comedy. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot about it. It's a
Guess we'll
forgettable
watch
show.
it.
Mhm.
It started turning into that. I guess we can watch it. And by episode 4 and 5, I was watching 5, and I looked over at Pablo, and he was also kind of just barely in. I'm like, are you as bored as I am, dude? He's like, yes. And I'm like,
All right, let's change this shit.
And then we switched it to fucking solo leveling, and immediately we woke up.
oh shit.
It was a boring show, and I was like, damn, this could have been really cool. And it's a shame. 'cause-
Robots.
Yeah, robots, ninjas, all the cool stuff.
Robot
It just-
samurai. I just
How far did y'all get?
saw episode 6,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw that animation, and I was literally right there. I was like, I'm done. I stopped watching right there. I just bloop. I didn't even see the full sequence. I was just like, no, no, I'm not doing this.
Was that the episode with all the robots and everything on the rooftop
yes,
or
and
whatever?
it had the little transformation thing for
Yes.
them into their.
Yeah, that's the episode I stopped on too. I watched that and I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, I saw that transition, and then they go to square up, and it did the 3D tracking shot. I was like, yeah, no, that's it.
Mm-mm.
It looked terrible.
It was weird. I'm guessing you didn't get that far.
Oh.
No. Yeah.
I'll be honest, I was just not along for the detective work.
The detective dude is not my I didn't like him at all. He was boring too.
Mm-hmm. I was just, I thought it'd just be a little bit more. I guess I understand. I'm a very shonen fucking basic whore, but it was just,
But even we have standards, I guess.
yeah.
Even the most basic shonen fanboy can probably watch that and be like, there's not much to it.
Mm-hmm.
It is flashy. for the sake of being flashy, I think, and that's about it. So
It seemed like they were just throwing whatever ideas they could to try and make it complex, but it was just shots in the dark.
yeah,
Bad execution,
Mm-hmm.
bad planning, or poor planning.
Poor planning.
yeah. I'm curious to see what other people think, because again, this is one of those that I don't see anybody talk about anymore. After that first episode, I never heard a damn thing.
It's because everybody hyped it up, and then they watched more, and they were like, "Oh shit,
I was like, oh, this isn't that good, actually.
I might delete that video recommending that."
Yeah. Well, if you ended up liking it and you disagree with us, let us
Good
know.
for you.
Yeah.
Shit, if there's
Mhm.
something that like a saving grace to kind of redeem the show a little bit, tell us about it.
Yeah, let us know. I'm curious if you did actually like it. What kept you watching, or what did you actually like about it? Because I could not get into it after those episodes, and I gave it a decent shot. Like you and me always talk about, like 6 to 7 episodes. That's a fair amount to give a show. And if you're not fucking with it by then
I
it's
don't,
not
I
great.
don't think it's for you.
Yeah, exactly.
But speaking of like other animes that kind of fell off,
Mm-hmm.
I guess something that you guys noticed was that My Heroes anime kind of has like
Mm-hmm.
not too many people are talking about it. Not too many people seem too excited about it. If I'm not mistaken, like there's a new season like right around the corner.
Yeah, and I haven't seen too much talk about it. Like I'll watch it for sure. Like
Absolutely,
I'm
'cause
gonna
I know
watch it.
exactly what's about to happen, and it's gonna be fucking great.
yeah, and I'm hoping actually that this season starts covering up to where I stopped reading the manga.
Yeah,
So then
yeah,
after that, I won't really know, and then I want to see, maybe I'll enjoy it more from that perspective.
Okay,
But-
yeah.
I have been falling off of My Hero for probably the last year and a half now.
The story was just kind of starting to drag.
I didn't know where it was going, if
Yeah,
I'm being
that too.
honest, and it didn't seem like he knew where he was going with the story either.
I heard.
Yeah, I don't like overly OP characters.
That wasn't even really the problem.
I mean, there's Goku though. We love
Yeah.
Goku.
But the
Aladdin.
story is straightforward.
He's not really OP.
Huh.
He's just broken.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'll give you that.
It's different. He had to like train.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just gonna throw out the spoiler warning now for My Hero, because I don't know what's gonna come up from the manga. So if you don't know anything past the anime, this is your warning in case something comes up. I only know really up until a little after the Stars and Stripe fight.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that is probably the last time I remember really enjoying My Hero Academia, was that fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I hated how that fight finished because it was so short and they actually killed her off.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's a really strong character with a really unique move that could have played a really interesting role in the overall war.
And you did it a
And-
one-off.
And they did a one-off and tossed her to the side for the plot convenience of Shigaraki getting that power, basically.
I mean, pretty much the whole like I see the whole reason why they did that is so it could rebel against his quirks.
Yeah, like I'm not upset at the concept of it. I didn't really like the execution, I think. Like I think she was just way too powerful to have lost that fight, I guess.
Yeah.
But she can't fly.
But she can if she wanted to.
Yeah, but with Shigaraki, like one of the most important things is flight because of his decay.
He was at a disadvantage.
Yeah. He was.
If he's
flying.
in the air, that's why they have him like also past that. They ended up keeping him in this
They
like
juggled him.
in like a air prison or something. I don't even know what the fuck. they
She
do.
caught him. Like, remember?
Well, they did all that in the air because she can control what's going on up there. But like, remember, she can't fly. She was jumping from plane to plane.
No, I know, but she's more like suited to fight in that kind of environment because of the nature of her powers than Shigaraki is. Shigaraki was at a complete disadvantage that entire time because his power relies on decaying the things that he can touch.
Mhm.
If all he can touch is just air, he can't really do too much outside of the extra bullshit that All for One gave him, which I don't even remember what he has now. I think that like the reason she lost was it almost was like on a technicality because she didn't know his actual name. Like Shigaraki is not his name; he has like an actual name.
Yeah, that did bother me.
That being the reason, it's kind of like a Martha situation from Batman v Superman. Like that's the reason, a fucking name. Like that's what's stopping this. I don't know. It's maybe a really shitty comparison, but it's the first thing that came to mind, and I was just like, fuck, like that. It could have been done better. I would have preferred anything else, I think.
We'll see how they do it in the anime.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, and I'm still excited to see it animated because that fight was fucking awesome.
Dude, I want to see them animate air pressure like that.
Mm-hmm. No, it's gonna look really cool.
Oh yeah. As long as it's not fucking daytime.
Yeah, and okay,
Hey,
that
now.
leads to the next like thing.
It was.
So yeah, it is daytime, but I mean, how many times have you heard? And we talked about this a little bit with Taylor on the last episode. The big blue sky in My Hero Academia. It's kind of like a running theme that a lot of the fandom has like been complaining about for a few years now, for the last few seasons, of just the fact that like anytime that there's a fight or anything major going on in the story, it's always done with the exact same backdrop. It's just a bright blue sky, like in the middle of the day, like sunny.
I mean, if you're a hero and you don't want collateral damage, you're going to take it to where there's nobody who could get hurt. I feel like it makes sense.
No. I'm not talking about them fighting in the sky. I'm okay with where they are. I'm talking artistically, like the way it looks. You can pick up any other anime that has decent animation and find an episode where there's like a major battle in the middle of the day, and like more often than not, you can see a pretty clear difference between how the sky looks and how just like the environment looks as they're fighting versus My Hero's version of doing it. It's just there's no texture to it. I think there's no like sense of risk,
Yeah,
or like
sure.
like it's a big fucking deal. Let me take the liberation war that we just saw in this past season, right?
Mhm.
All of that shit, like when you compare it to the manga, right? Obviously it's black and white, like that's besides the point, but it's way more gritty. Like it felt like the stakes were way higher because this is a big fucking deal. This man is about to kill everybody there. The destruction looked a lot more intense, I guess. When you see that in the anime, I don't get the same feeling whatsoever. And it's kind of the reason that I didn't like the villain arc in the anime compared to the manga. Because, again, it's just bright colors, bright blue sky, but there's no aura around it that makes you feel like, oh, this is like a destruction of an entire city. It just didn't feel as intense.
I guess
I
even
don't know if I'm explaining
when
myself
I did
right.
read the manga, I did kind of like, I guess, perceive it with like a darker kind of
Mm-hmm.
sky. Like that's just, I guess, I don't know, I want to say expect, but like it just helps with like, I guess, helps kind of shift the mood to what's really going on. Like this isn't kids during a sports festival, trying to compete and show off their skills. Like, no, people are dying.
Yeah, like the stakes have
Like-
been a lot higher for a while now, and the
Mhm.
state of the world in the story of My Hero is not the same.
Their prisons like been fucking completely
Yeah.
demolished. Like granted, like they got kind of, I can't remember to be honest, because it was kind of disappointing. His whole fight against what's her name?
Lady
Nagant.
Nagant.
Yeah, wasn't this guy like?
That was at night.
Oh, okay.
And that was like the only time that the scenery has actually.
Am I
looked
the
a little
only one that
different.
perceived that fight like raining?
I thought it was raining in the manga.
See,
Was
thank
it
you.
not? Was it not in the anime?
It's been a fucking minute.
I'll have to double check that. But see, like that one at least visually looked a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Even something like that, it's a little bit better. It's just like the daytime scenes, like a daytime slice of life episode in that show looks exactly the same as a daytime like final boss battle episode, and that's where my issue lies. It's just the fact that they both shouldn't feel the same. There should be a little bit of difference between the feeling of a slice of life and them just kind of being at school and them preventing the city being destroyed. Am I like, I don't know if that makes any sense.
No. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
What are you thinking?
I disagree.
Really? So you don't have a
I
problem?
think y'all are getting hung up on a small detail. The sky is too bright.
No, it's not. It's not that the sky is too bright. It's just that like
The backdrop. I get it. I get it. It's an opinion.
Okay.
I disagree.
Okay.
All right, fair enough.
One of the other ones that we had talked about that kind of like fell off because I mean, it had like a whole nother season or a whole nother core was Tokyo Revengers.
Yeah, I didn't watch season 3 at
Neither
all.
did I saw some like clips of it here and there,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought it was so weird because like I guess I don't know if like they didn't like advertise it well enough or what it was, but
It came out really fast,
it did come out really fast. But like I remember,
which I never thought I would complain about, I guess.
yeah, like they got there, they did like kind of release that right after that second season, and it. I remember eating the second season. I remember waiting each week like oh man, people are getting stabbed, people are getting their ass beat. Like,
why is that what draws you into it?
and then like we go back to the future and it's like, oh shit, Mikey's killed everybody. Like it was a really solid second season. But then whatever they're putting out now, I'm just like, what's
you don't really vibe with it?
I haven't really touched the series in a while. I'd have to go back and like see where season 3 ended.
Gotcha. Okay. The last thing I think I remember, like season 2 was ending off was, what was it? Like Mikey gave him the bike.
Season 2 was like the Christmas stuff with
Yeah.
like, the church and everything. Oh, I barely remember what like the last thing I saw from there. Well, I remember that there was a whole other school, I think, and another gang that was
Like coming out or something like that.
Yeah, that was like the last thing I remember. And I guess I was just really surprised that it came back so fast, because normally like between 1 and 2 it took a minute before that other season came out, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there was a big time difference between them.
it almost felt like it could have just been like a continuation of the season, like a second quarter.
Second quarter, yeah.
And then again, like I didn't hear too much about it. I would probably go back and check it out just to see what it is, because I didn't dislike season 2, but I feel like my excitement for the show has personally probably like gone down a little bit, just because there's been a lot of other animes that I've been more interested in checking out. But that could be one of those that I feel like maybe once more seasons come out, I could just kind of binge as they're released.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really wanting to watch like weekly that one, but it's a story that I would want to see the conclusion for and see how they do it.
The other thing is, does it come out on Crunchyroll still, or at all,
Ooh, I don't know about
or
Crunchyroll.
is it still just only on Hulu?
I watched it on Hulu, so
See,
yeah.
I bet that's always kind of like one of those things where, like, me personally, like if it's not on Crunchyroll, like the chances of me watching it are real rare.
Okay, yeah.
Like them releasing stuff like that. Like that's why also like I was kind of put off to watching oh god, what we were just talking about it, the Ninja Kamui. Just like it being on HBO Max.
It's a completely different streaming platform.
Like when I go there, that's not typically what I'm not going there looking for anime.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
We're just happy that Prime has Invincible.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's one of those, like, you didn't forget. We're running to it.
And speaking of Prime, just a fun fact, I finally caught up to The Boys, and it's so good. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's amazing.
New season coming out in June.
Yes.
They make a show about like kids in that universe, like high school age kids.
I think it's that spin-off that Pablo was talking about, Gen V, and he says it's amazing. He says it's incredibly important.
You don't know about this?
Well, I mean, he's been telling me about it for like the past week.
I'm about to start it probably, because he says that it's almost important to watch for the context of the show. Like he
Why do
recommends.
they do that shit?
I don't
Disney
know.
started that bullshit.
That's
Fuck
really
you,
stupid.
Disney.
Yeah. That's why Marvel sucks now, because you have to watch a million TV shows to understand what's going on in the movies.
Yeah, that's why I go to YouTube.
Yeah.
Hello, YouTube.
God. So by the time this comes out, there should probably be like a third episode, I'm sure. But if you have not been watching Kaiju number 8, you are fucking up, because that shit is so good. First question I do have real quick before we get into it: what's the name of the studio that's putting it out?
I knew it, but I don't remember.
Just because, like,
IG production, IG, and they're working with another studio. I forget what they're called.
okay,
Yeah, Production IG with Studio Kara.
okay, man, that is some A1 fucking animation. First of
Real
all,
good.
like their blood.
It's gory as shit.
Yeah,
It's so gory, but I like it because it's the kaijus. It's just the monsters.
I like that it's not afraid to be kind of gross.
yeah. Like
Like they put him on testing duty. It's like
It's a realistic.
gas and poop and stuff, and they're like sitting there cutting through it. He's like,
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed it. Like, it was kind of gross to see, but
Well, you never get to see
I
that.
never thought about that when
Yeah.
watching like Godzilla or anything with kaiju's. Is like, somebody has to clean that up.
Mm-hmm.
This is the guy who has to clean that up.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It's a really interesting premise because it's also one of my favorite things about the show is that our main character is 32 years old.
Yeah.
When's the last time you got any kind of like anime, even shonen-esque type anime where the character wasn't a teenager or like early 20s?
Fair.
Right?
Zom 100.
Oh yeah.
Oh, right. Well, again, early 20s.
No, he's like mid-20s. Like, it was like he should really start getting his
He
life
did-
together,
he
but he was
finished
just doing that
college.
shit.
Yeah, mid-20s.
Yeah.
This is the oldest protagonist that I've seen in a story like this with like
For a minute.
action, powers, whatever. I think it's funny because like they make a point to make fun of his age all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's like,
He's
I'm not
old.
old. I'm only 32, and
Like,
like
that makes you old.
it hits home a little more when you're closer to that number.
Damn, it does make you old.
Mhm.
How's it feel?
Why the fuck are you two looking at me?
I'm looking at everybody in this room.
Uh huh.
Get a little-
Okay. better
little-
be.
little
Why
oil
you
can
looking at
for
me?
your
You're
knees.
closer than I am.
I was talking to Pablo about it when we watched it, and I was telling him I really like how creepy they're making the kaijus look. I think they're
Mhm.
nailing that because they're supposed to be really creepy. I thought they were going to be very basic or generic about it,
But they do a really good job with making him goofy.
but
Like, the character design for our main character, Kaiju, is fucking perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Because it has the horror aspect, but it has the silly, goofy aspect as well. And then, you know, whenever he's not in that Kaiju form, he's not bad. He's not too bad looking.
Can I ask you guys like a personal question,
sure.
No.
please?
Okay.
How would you guys react if I told you or I just showed you guys me peeing out of my nipples?
That was okay. That scene was a little.
Dude,
I did not remember reading
When-
that. I don't know if that was the only thing or not, but I didn't remember that.
when it was like building up, he was like, I have to pee, I gotta go to the bathroom, and he's like, you don't have the jug, like where's it gonna come? And I was like, where is it? And then it started happening. I was like, what the fuck is this?
I remember I saw that and I'm like, oh, and I looked back at Pablo and he's like, and I was like, I promise it's not always this weird. And he's like, okay.
Promise? You
Like-
said that last time.
My next question is like, do kaijus like mate with their nipples?
No, I just think that's what that is like, just what it did that time. Because you saw it was like his body was going crazy. He had
That's
like
true.
tentacles on the bottom,
Oh,
thing
yeah.
just popping out of his head. It's like he doesn't have full control of what's going on.
Yeah.
He even struggled in the second episode. He was even struggling to like.
Oh, like with
his
the
the
teeth and
core.
everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was funny. But
That
it is
was
kinda
funny.
cool that he's already learning how to control his appearance a little bit.
That bitch threw his company car. Who the fuck is that little hoe? What the fuck was that little suit?
She's like
Yeah,
a
she
really
was
good
rude.
character, actually. She's a bitch early on, but then like she's a really
Okay.
good character.
Better.
Yeah, she know ya. Yeah.
Oh, so she's like, what's her name? Ahsoka? Is it Ahsoka?
Ahsoka?
No, I'm sorry. No, fuck. What's her name? From Neon Genesis Evangelion, the red bitch. See, you can't remember her name. I'm struggling, bro.
Yeah, me too.
But like her,
I
'cause
almost
at
wanted to
first,
say Austin.
I really disliked her.
Mm-hmm.
And then as it went on, I was like, oh shit, I kind of get why she works the way she works.
You're both gonna really like her eventually.
Okay.
Most of the fandom really likes her.
Like Bon Clay.
Hmm.
Okay.
And go ahead.
If I told you guys I would give you awesome powers
No, it's gross.
and a cool body, you just gotta eat this flying worm thing first.
Hard pass. Nope. I don't do bugs.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, I'm always on the same page. No, I gotta get this fucking gross. It looks so uncomfortable.
As long as it's not like parasite powers. I'm sorry. I don't want like my body splitting open and shit.
Watch you turn into a giant spider kaiju, bro.
Oh, I'll just kill myself. I'm not gonna be a spider.
No.
There's other people out there that are afraid.
So what if you're a spider?
So I'm a spider. So what? Season 2.
That's cool. What I always tell people who know nothing about Kaiju number 8 is I ask them, look, if you like Attack on Titan even remotely, you'll fucking love this show because it has a lot of the cool factors of Attack on Titan, but this show is funnier. Like this show generally has more comedic moments, more humor
Without
into it.
taking itself so serious.
Without taking itself too serious until it does. And when it does decide to take itself serious, you've spent enough time and you've had plenty of time to really get to enjoy the fun moments, I guess, between the characters that like when it starts getting more serious, you're like, oh shit, like okay, let's go, like let's do this, and it kind of just starts picking up more and more, and it's really well paced.
I like it. I'm sorry. Two things. One, I liked it when he got serious and wanted to punch that thing really hard. That was nuts.
Yep.
It was like his body involuntarily, like he went to punch as hard as he could as a human, and like the kaiju compensated and was like, oh, that's what we're doing. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And just obliterates that.
Like the charge up,
When he started-
electricity effect. I was like,
oh damn, he's going Godzilla on his ass.
Oh yeah, no, I'm glad that they're at least like saving the major part of the animation budget for any scenes with him in the
Mhm.
kaiju form, because like realistically, that's what we want to see.
Oh, yeah.
All the other stuff, I'm cool with, like basic, just simple animation, nothing too crazy. If all those action scenes look that way,
Oh yeah.
I'm totally.
I'll take him any day of the week.
Yeah. One of the things that I was telling you earlier too is for Kaiju number 8, like if I had to like nitpick just the tiniest thing, I think the character models in the manga look a little bit better.
Oh yeah, you were
You know?
telling me that, yeah.
Because like one of my favorite characters is Ichikawa, like the sidekick.
Oh, I was just telling you, I was about to bring that up. I actually kind of like that relationship a lot. They seem
he's
like,
a fucking homie. He's a ride or die, dude. I love him.
fuck yeah.
I mean, he came back and saved him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
He didn't have to do that.
the first 2 episodes tell you everything you need to know about the kind of character.
Oh,
he
yeah.
is. He's like ride or die.
And then immediately, like when they got back to the hospital, they were like, "Oh, we booked it. We ran."
Mhm.
Like they're just like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, we're gonna lie for each other."
Yeah,
Like,
no questions asked. Like you've been through.
He saw him like transform and like
Mhm.
easily he could have been with that old man and be like, he's a fucking kaiju. Call him."
No,
Yeah,
but he
no, it
was
could've
like,
turned-
what happened to you?
Exactly. I really like him in this story. He has really cool, like badass moments, and I love his design too. Like I like the silver-haired characters. Kind of like the cooler, not as like, what's the word?
Goofy and loud.
Not as goofy, but like
Little
their
edgy.
seriousness pairs really well with the goofy
Mhm.
character. That's the dynamic that they two have. So I really like him. In the manga, he just looks super cool. His hair is like styled a specific way. In the anime, he looks more like slender almost, and just kind of like the only word that comes to mind is the word basic, but that's really harsh. But
Yeah.
it's early on. I'm sure maybe like
Give it
it'll
time,
change
you
a little
know.
bit, but like it's like the tiniest nitpick just because like I really like the way it looks in the manga, but everything else is fucking fantastic, and everybody should go watch it because it's a good story. The action is awesome and it's funny as shit.
Bro, the animation style is so fun. That scene when they're sitting there after being on poop duty, about to eat lunch, and he's like, haha, he's struggling from it, and he's like bloats up, and like you see him like hold that vomit in, and his stomach bloats up and stuff. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh god, but like, wow, y'all doing
You
this.
got like goofy with it.
It has
I
that
like
over the top comedy, but like not
Mhm.
being too over the top, I guess. Like it sprinkles it in, and then badass scene, and then some more comedy, and then badass.
I'll take it.
I enjoy
good.
it. I like how the comic relief comes out a little more when the kaiju form comes out.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's not always scary looking, but when he's scary looking,
Oh,
it's
he's
fucking
scary.
terrifying.
That poor little girl.
That
Like,
little
don't hurt the
Oh, yeah.
good kaiju though, right?
That was nice. Oh, what do you guys think of like the friend? I guess.
She
the-
reminds me of the female from Red Cap Akaboshi. Y'all remember that mushroom anime?
Mhm.
That had the muscle mommy
Yeah.
who like used a staff.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
Nah, I haven't seen it. I don't know.
I get what he's saying. She kind of I like her. Oh man, you know
Granted,
what?
you don't know too much about her. So,
yeah.
obviously.
You know what she kind of gives me vibes of? What's her name from Classroom of the Elite, Gary? She seems like she's cold and mean, but like I think she's just kind of pissed off.
Yeah, so she like is
was gonna try to
very
pronounce that,
cold
but
and calculated. Nekoyagi. Pewa Nekoyagi.
Gotcha.
So she's very like kind of cold and calculated, it feels like, and she's like very like strict with orders and business, right? Like very strict to a code of honor, pretty
Yeah.
much,
Yeah.
right? But there's like those hidden layers to her, like there's an actual person in there, and she's actually genuinely really sweet, and like it's
Mhm.
somebody you would want to like see your character get with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what that relationship is like in Bisco.
Okay, cool. So you have a good understanding. Like, I was curious to see what y'all's initial thoughts were just from like these 2 episodes, because it hasn't been much, but she can come off very cold sometimes. But
I think it's just because she's pissed off. Like
Yeah.
her homeboy made a fucking promise, and
Exactly.
she even said liar.
exactly, yeah,
Like,
they
I
were
totally
childhood
get it.
best friends.
I bet like low key she's the only hard ass because like they made a deal or a promise like I want to be the coolest one.
Yeah.
So that's what she's doing. Like
They were
she's
supposed to, and she followed through with it, and he didn't. So
Mhm.
like he did kind of abandon her, and that's kind of like the whole story of this is like him redeeming himself because he thought he was too old and he was past his prime, but like he gets this opportunity. He's like, no, I'm gonna take advantage of it. I'm gonna fulfill my promise to her because he thinks about it all the time, probably, and clearly she thinks about it
She
too.
thinks about it too.
Yeah.
When they showed she thinks about it too, I was like, okay,
Mhm.
all right. So it's not one-sided.
Mhm.
And she is such a badass, bro. She is like a combination of Mikasa and Levi from Attack on Titan, minus the Eren obsession.
She has a fucking white tiger.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
It's
I
a
don't know.
tiger.
I don't get the context for it or like why.
even
I don't
remember
need
the
it. I don't
context.
need the context. You know how many anime are out there with the strong female and she also got the white tiger? It's fine. I'll take it.
Even
He's got a
Pablo
point.
asked, like, what's the tiger for? And I'm like, I don't remember, but it's cool.
Badassery.
Just he's like, okay.
Hunted scent. I don't know.
No, she's super fucking cool. And the action scenes in this show are really, really dope. There's one character that was shown. He has like a bowl cut with like, the really like typical Asian eyes, I guess.
Mhm.
Say. Well, like, you know what I mean. Okay, let me rephrase that. The squinty eyes. You can please edit this to make it sound better. But the bowl cut guy.
Mhm.
I'm gonna fucking swear. Anyways, he is also a fucking badass. He has like that character that's super goofy. You don't really take serious, but then when he locks in, he locks the fuck in.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's all like Yuji.
In a way,
Or all his trauma.
I haven't even read if he has trauma, which I'm assuming he does, just based off of like what I know from him. He definitely has some trauma in his past, but I don't know. Like he's just a fun character, but then you don't want to piss him off, and you don't want to 1v1 this guy.
Okay.
at all.
Okay.
He'll fuck your day up. The whole cast of characters is really, really good, and that's what I love about this show is because like even that blonde chick, like Shinomiya, all of them, like you start getting to know them. They have a lot of interactions with each other, and I like it when you build up a cast and they get to spend time with each other, so you can get attached to your favorite ones or whatever. And
And then they
see-
start killing them.
No, it does. It doesn't get to like that point, JJK wise, where it's just like everyone's on the table. But like, it's also not afraid to kill characters. Like, you will lose maybe 1 or 2 that you wouldn't think you would lose.
Gary, you hear that? What it
So
means?
start not liking characters.
I was like, just
so they're
do
safe.
not pick a favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't yet.
Okay, good. Don't please.
It's a little early.
Please don't. I'm
Yeah, it
scared.
was a little early.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take the safe bet.
Mm-hmm.
I like the main character.
Well, he's a main character.
That's why I'm gonna take the safe bet.
And I also want to make sure that you guys know, like, I'm not sure if you caught the whole reason why it was named Kaiju number 8, like in the news and everything.
Seems like
The eighth named kaiju that has escaped the Department of Defense.
Yeah, something like that. It's essentially like they only name specific kaijus when it's like a big fucking deal, like that it needs to be remembered because kaijus 1 through 7, like there's significance to the numbers essentially, and they incorporate like stuff about the kaijus into their arsenal basically to help them keep up with the kaijus. And if a
Mhm.
kaiju gets a number, it's like oh shit, like everybody needs to be on this right now. Like the top tier elites of everybody, they're all honed in on taking this target down because it could be a worldwide threat.
So how is there 8 of them?
So it's not that there are 8 currently out and about.
Okay,
it's that
this is
there
just the
have
eighth
this is
one.
the
Eighth event.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So he's like, everybody's hunting for him now.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. So I just wanted to, put that context in there. But this is a really fun anime. I think you guys are gonna really like it, and most of you, if you listen to this podcast, you'll probably like it too. So
Mhm.
definitely make sure to check that out.
Now, we do have to talk about this only because it's kind of become like I would say like a fan favorite of ours.
Mhm.
Thank you again, Sam.
We can make it pretty quick though.
Oh yeah, because the first
it's like wholesome shit, bro. I don't want to
yeah,
cry.
it's only 2 episodes and like yeah.
We'll have plenty to talk about, I think, in a few weeks because he has said buckle up because things are gonna get like.
Oh, we'll just cover the main thing. We getting married.
Well,
Yeah,
let's,
yeah.
let's talk about the show first. Jobless reincarnation.
Mushoku Tensei.
Mushoku Tensei.
Oh, my bad. I forgot. I thought we said it.
No,
Yeah,
'cause
jobless reincarnation.
Sometimes we start just talking about it in like 10 minutes and we're like, oh, they have no idea what
Show
anime
us
we're
this.
talking about.
Take that jobless reincarnation. Put that at the front.
Yes, but yeah, Jobless is back with its second core, and it's been very like slice of lifey.
I love it.
I love it. Yeah, so do I. Homie bought her a fucking house.
Oh, well, he had to. That's the way. Like we're learning more about how marriage works
Yeah.
in this universe, and apparently tradition is once you get married, you settle down in a house together. Like that's what you do. If you know, if y'all are both wealthy, you buy her the house. If you're not able to, she'll buy the house. Right? But like, you have to have a house to become married, essentially.
Rudius
It's
is
kind
a
of weird.
baller, so.
Yeah, dude, that's a fucking mansion. That is not a house. That is a mansion.
It's like the best
But
house you can get in life. Like
It was
this
because it was haunted.
Yeah, there were like some secrets apparently in there, and certain things that Sam was like, make sure you remember that. That's kind of important. I'm like, okay. Like,
Oh,
Yeah, and like Zenoba finding
Zenoba.
finding that doll and being like, it's a doll, sir.
did you know that apparently, and I asked Sam this because he is the Mushoku Tensei Encyclopedia. Zenoba, if he were to like arm wrestle Abu Dhabi or whatever his name is, the big
purple?
purple dude
Yeah.
with 4 arms, Zenoba would win.
Really?
Like base wise, yeah.
That's funny because
That's
he was
so
like
cool.
beating the shit out of him, and he's just like taking it.
Yeah, no, apparently Zenoba is strong as.
I mean, he's a blessed child.
yeah. He just.
But I think
like,
that's hilarious because
has
it's
no
the last
talent.
person I would have expected to
he
do
has no,
anything.
he has no
like that.
magical talent. He's just
You know, it's just
dumb shit strong.
I love how he like is honing his craft of carving by hand, and it's like being able to do that delicate work genuinely helps him as a person, like living his life.
he's a homie,
kinda funny.
honestly. At first, I thought he was a little.
You
cringe,
ride or die.
but at this point, I'm like, you're a homie, and you're not doing any harm. So
Nah, when he started freaking out about the doll, and
Not wanting
like
it to
pointed it out and like took charge of the situation, I was like, this is why we have him, because he's able to like. He's into dolls, kind of, or like I guess figures, kind of like Rudius is.
Yeah.
But even more so.
We'll call
Right.
it.
And I think it's fun to see Rudius like build these connections with people, but like you're more interested in that thing because that's your interest.
Yeah.
I'll help you with it. Oh, you're getting married. I'll help you with it.
Yeah. No, they've been through enough shit already.
Even Cliff, bro. Even
I
Cliff
really
with
like
Elianos.
Yeah, I think he's a homie too, honestly.
Lisa.
Oh,
Lisa.
gotcha.
His
his
horny
wife.
elf?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sophie's
El-
grandma.
Oh my fucking god.
ooh.
That was
Lena Lee's?
crazy to
Lionel
find
Ice.
out.
Yeah, right. I had him explain it. I'm like, wait, is she actually like related to Sophie? And he's like, yeah, like grandma, blah blah blah, the whole shebang. And I was like, never would have thought. Cool as fuck though. Like, I like her. I just want to give her a hug. I know that we always make fun and are like, horny elf, you know, but like, I genuinely like. She
Like,
seems
it's not
a
by
good
her
person.
choice.
It's not by choice. She's just, it's a curse that she has.
I love Cliff too. He's like, I mean, it is what it is. Like
Yeah.
that was who she was. I'm gonna break her curse.
Like
Like
these people are real. They're just all fucking real, and they're ride or die for the people that they care about, and I respect it.
That's why
they're willing to overlook flaws.
Yes.
Because they love the person.
I
love it.
I'll be honest. Like the first part of the core, I did not really like Luke.
Yeah,
But
right.
then when he was like, "Listen, if you're gonna take Sylphie from us, you're gonna have to prove to me, brother, you can protect her."
Did y'all expect that to go that way?
No.
Rudius just
no.
run his shit, bro. I
No.
was like, "What the
I thought Luke was
fuck?"
gonna fuck him
Me
up low key,
too.
and then he blitzed him so quick, and he like tried to recover. He was like, "No, dude, that was
Not
crazy."
expecting that shit at all because like this man is a mage, right? And the last time we saw him wield a sword, it didn't really go very well. He never was apt for that, even when he was training with Paul and everything. with
but he
Ares.
got
He's been
the eye.
trained by 2 sword
But
gods.
yes, you forget that fact, and that's what Sam reminded me of. He was like, remember, like he has been training with like sword god essentially in terms of like ranking, like Ares.
Even Eris, yeah,
Yeah,
Eris
like
would
Ares
train
is
with
a
him like
prodigy,
crazy.
basically, and
That was his
Jelaine too. Jelaine is
Yes.
amazing. Paul was also a fucking insane ass swordsman. Like he has been trained.
He was a master,
fair
right?
amount.
Paul was a god, like
Paul-
was a sword god.
Yeah, I think he was
Yeah,
a sword
of the
god
North
level.
style.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Correct us if we're wrong, which maybe we are.
That's
But-
the one where they throw swords.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so. Yeah. And it's crazy because, like, yeah, obviously compared to all of them, he's shit at like sword wielding. But the fact that he has had that exposure,
Mm-hmm.
Sam told me that he's as high of. Oh, I'm gonna butcher this, but I think he's as high as you can get while being intermediate. I think there's specific techniques or something that he just hasn't been able to master that keeps him from being up in like the upper tier of swordsmen. But he is like at the pinnacle
like,
of
a
like
master.
being an intermediate essentially.
Okay.
And
Okay.
him and Luke are essentially on the same level. But you also have to remember he has the fucking eye.
But
Oh,
they
yeah.
did
Foresight.
say, I was thinking about that, but they did say no magic before.
Yeah.
And like Rudius is pretty honorable sometimes.
Pretty honorable sometimes.
I don't, yeah, that's true. I don't think a lot of people know he's got that eye.
No, yeah, I know that's a good secret to have, I think.
Mhm.
But that was really cool and very impressive. Makes me like him more too because he's not just a mage; he's capable, you know, in those ways. And metaphorically speaking, it was a great duel because it shows that like he is worthy of like being with Sophie and he can protect her no matter what because she has been through her own shit.
Bro, he broke his ass down with a magically conjured sword.
Mhm.
Yeah, really cool
He
scene.
made Luke a bitch.
I ain't gonna lie though, it's kind of scary though.
Mhm.
She, like how the princess, she's a princess, right? She was like saying like, listen, like if you're not gonna take care of her, like we'll just snatch her right back up.
Mhm.
That sounded like foreshadowing.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm kind of scared. I'm
But
just
if
like,
you don't treasure her,
oh
yeah,
yeah,
you're right. We'll come back and take her from you.
and like, I'm kind of scared something's gonna happen.
Oh man, by the time he gets his third wife, they're gonna pull up and be like, "You got 3? No, we're taking her back."
I mean, it might as well. It's basically like a harem. I mean, season 1 laid the groundwork for it.
Yeah,
It did. Let's be real. We all knew.
So
Don't
he's-
deny. it.
And we know it's gonna be interesting when Roxy shows back up.
yep.
Like Roxy was a
Oh,
very
yeah.
important part of his story growing up, and like sure, maybe
That
he's
was the
married
first
now,
pair of panties he saw.
but like it's significant to his life. And I was telling Sam like I don't dislike Roxy, but in this point in the story, she has just not been directly involved enough for me to really care too much about her.
Mm-hmm.
I care more about Eris and I care more about Selphie. Obviously, we've had screen time with them. They've directly interacted with Rudius more than Roxy. So I'm hoping that whenever Roxy gets reintroduced into the story, I get like way more, you know, way more of a fleshed out story between her and Rudius, and like I feel like it's gonna complicate the relationship between him and Sylphie.
Oh yeah, because she's gonna see and be like, oh, this isn't the little boy I taught magic. This is a young man who's become quite an adept mage. Like, I'm sure there's gonna be a solid moment where she's gonna be like, he outclasses me in so many different fucking ways, and he doesn't even realize it.
Yeah, I'm excited. And then you know that Eris is gonna come back into the picture at some point too.
Yep.
And like that was a whole thing. I still really like Eris. I know she did our boy dirty, but I just still like her as a character.
You know, I can't blame her. Dude, you got to think about the situation she was in.
Yeah.
She lost everything. And if in that moment she turned around and only relied on him, like he's a kid, he's still a boy.
He's still,
You know, like
they
this
both had
isn't
to grow
his
up a lot.
responsibility to take on. It's better she leaves and deals with it herself.
Yeah, and I mean she's like protected him, and I think her leaving to go and get stronger like that and not be with Rudius was kind of like, yeah, it wasn't communicated the best way. That's for sure.
It was good for him though.
But it was good for him, and it's good for her because she wants to become strong enough to be able to protect him if they were to ever encounter another situation like when they met Orsted.
No, bro, and she
almost
would. They were
fucking died.
outclassed.
They would have
and
all
She
died.
was a child, bro.
Yes.
But she did well for where you know how old she is.
Yeah, I mean that shit was
Only get better.
traumatizing. Look what happened to Rudius. Like that scarred him. Seeing
Yeah.
all that shit happen so fast. Like they were all so outclassed. Even with Rugier too, he didn't stand a chance, and that was the strongest part of the group. He couldn't do anything about it. Like I'm sure that affected Eris just as much as it affected him, and she's just kind of dealing with it the best way she can, I guess, for her age. I mean, again, they're kids at the end of season 1. Right now, they're like more teenagers. I think they're like 14 maybe or 15,
Yeah.
something like
Gotta
that.
be somewhere around there.
And then like the story keeps going. Like one of my favorite parts about the show is that time goes on and the characters actually grow. Like by the end of the series, I'm more than confident that Rudius will be in his like mid-20s or so. Like he'll be an adult.
By the end of the series?
By the end of the series, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it goes into him being an old man, bro.
Oh, does it go into the old man stuff?
Pretty sure.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought it would just stop around him like in his 20s or 30s.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Well, still, like, you don't see that with a lot of shows. I feel like they kind of just get stuck in a period of time where this is where the story takes place, and then the show ends, and maybe we get a time skip of them being old and well off or whatever, and then that's it. You don't see them grow from, like, a literal baby through being a kid, teenager, young adult, all that stuff.
Give me their full life.
Yeah, yeah.
What part did y'all enjoy most? The part where he was mainly an adventurer? Like after the mass teleportation, like he made it back, and now he's like searching for his family with Paul and all them. Did y'all prefer like when he was an adventurer, or the school life, or like the little bit that we are getting of married life?
Definitely the adventure stuff. I really liked him going out exploring the world with his party, and it was essentially kind of a big training arc for him. And I think that's really cool. I liked the slice of life stuff. I like the marriage stuff. But I do think it's just been a long time since we've seen him be an adventurer, and I kind of miss that. So I'm kind of ready to get back into it. I think he had a good reset. He was able to learn more from school, fix the relationship with Sylphie. But I think now is the time to like go out into the world and learn more stuff.
How about we go find Mom?
How about we go find Mom?
What the fuck?
I need to see Zenith again.
Dude, like that's, I'm not gonna lie.
They are close as fuck too. Like there's no way it's not eating him up that his mom is just out there.
Yeah, like I really wish.
Dog, you're married. You can't even tell your mom you're married. Come on.
And like I know that they had said that she was fine. Like he was told by Elinolise that apparently she's fine. So I guess that's what kind of led him to be like, okay, well I guess I can take my time being at the school and everything. But still, dude, go check on your mom.
She's just adventuring like nothing ever happened. Like, dog, something had to have happened. Memory issues.
Yeah, I have
kind of
no
magic
clue.
control. Like something had to have happened.
Yeah, I have no clue what the storyline with Zenith is going to be, but I'm really, really excited for it because I think it's going to be really interesting. So I'm excited for this core in general. We'll keep kind of doing updates on this as we go by here and there, and I'm sure we'll probably have Sam back because I know that he is dying to talk to you guys about it again.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see.
As long as he doesn't give us another hot take.
Oh my!
I don't know. I like going
Just kidding,
viral
I'm just
sometimes.
playing. All right, guys. So we appreciate y'all watching. That was the episode, and don't forget about Emery being super gay.
It's in the notes.
Appreciate you guys for listening, for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Alchemist out.
Alchemist out. I'm gonna cut that out.